Hello buddy and welcome to my channel. I'm assassinghost and today we are going to continue with our Kotlin basics. And in this video we are going to take a look at arrays and how to use arrays inside of Kotlin. But before we begin, I'd like to let you know that this video has been brought to you by Honey. Honey is a free Chrome extension which automatically find and apply coupon codes when you shop online. Stop searching for coupon code in sales, click on the Honey button during checkout and Honey will automatically apply coupon codes to your shopping cart. Just click the link given in the description down below to learn more. Now let's just go ahead and start. So basically, I'll go ahead and copy the hello world program. We'll go to the src, go to new, create a new Kotlin file and name it arrays. I'll paste the main function. Not a big deal, we already know what does that means. And now we're going to take a look at three types of arrays. The first one is called array of. This is basically a static type of array. We will know what it means with an example, but for the time being, array of is static. And then we have the array list, which is basically dynamic. And now we have the third one known as the Hashmap. Hashmap stores multiple values. Excuse me, B-A-L-U-E-S. Okay. So we are going to take a look at array of, array list and Hashmap. Now let's just go ahead and see it in action. Okay, so first of all, I'll create a variable. I'll name it something like blood group, and I will add the type. I will add the data type to array of. Now we're going to define some static variables which are not going to change. So for example, let's just say blood group A, blood group B, and then we have the blood group O, and then we have the blood group AB. And basically these are our this is our array variable, name of the variable blood group, and the type of the variable which is array of, and then we define some variables which is AB, O and AB. Okay, so now if you want, you can use the for loop to display all the variables inside the blood group. Define a variable, let's just say X in blood group, and for each values just go ahead and println X. So what if we go ahead and run it? Let's just go ahead and run arrays.kd. Okay, so we got the output A, B, O, AB. So basically for X, for every value of blood group, we are going to store the value in X. So if this is the first run, the value of the X will be A, and then it will print X, which is A. After that, it will run once again, and this time it will print B, and then O, and then AB. So basically, this is how we can create a static array and also display the data from the static array. Now let's just go ahead and use something like a dynamic array where the data can be changed. based on different parameters, of course. So now let's just go ahead and create something like, we can basically use array list to create a dynamic, because we can add some new variables, we can define new data based on the variables. So let's go ahead and create something like where books, and this is the variable named books, and then the data type will be array list. Once you do that, you can go ahead and pass it a data type, or basically something like a string. Okay, and then you should use the function. Now this is your array list for dynamic array creation. What I meant by that is basically this. We can go ahead and add a new, in the first example, which was a where blood group, we define a fixed or static variables. So basically A, B, O and AB. We cannot add more data through a variable. We need to add, if you want to add something like, let's just say O positive, something like this, O positive, then you will have to add it right here. But you cannot use a variable and define it as you wish. So basically it's static. You can use the for loop to display all the data inside this array, or you can go ahead and use something like println blood group and then the correct index. So for example 1. Now let's go ahead and discuss something about array. It starts from 0, then 1, then 2, then 3. So if you are talking about blood group 0, which means A, blood group 1, which means B, blood group 2, which means O, blood group 3, which means AB. So if you want to print B, you need to use println blood group 1. If you want to print AB, you should use println blood group 3. So this was basically the static array, and we were talking about the dynamic array. Now let's just go ahead and add some value inside of the dynamic array. We can use the name of the variables, which is the books, and let's go and do something like books dot add, and then we can add something like Kotlin basics, which let's just pretend is the name of a book. And then we can also just go ahead and add something like books dot add Kotlin advanced, Kotlin advanced. So in this example, we can go ahead and create as many variables we need, as many array items we need, with the help of .add command. So basically you just need to enter the variable name and add .add and assign the value. Now if you want to just print it, you can run the for loop again and assign a variable. Let's just say y in books, and once you do that, just go ahead and println y. Now let's just go ahead and run it. And once we do that, you can see Kotlin basics, Kotlin advanced. So the best part about this method is that you can go ahead and dynamically add as many variables as you want. So for example, just Kotlin, and if you run it, you will get more and more and more. You can also use a for loop to add data automatically or something like that, which is advanced stuff we'll discuss later. So basically this is the dynamic. Now go ahead and see how we can use the hash map. So I'm going to comment it out, sorry. Okay, now it's time for the hash map. So for the hash map, as we already discussed, it can store multiple values. Create a new variable, name it something like employee, emp, which is short for the employee. Create equals to and type hash map. And then we'll define the data types. So for example, string, and let's just define one more. Let's type it int, and then we'll close it with the parentheses. Now we can go ahead and put the value inside of the emp hash map array by simply typing emp, which is your variable name, and typing dot put, and then passing the values. So something like our first data type is a string, so let's go ahead and type something like assassin, and then we'll use a comma, and then we'll use 764. Okay, now let's just go ahead and add something else like emp dot put, and then use something like, let's just say ghost 1000. We can go ahead and continue adding, but for this example, just this. So basically this is your keys. These are your keys. This is a string and this is the int. You can invoke any key if you want. So for example, if you just want the numbers or our second part to be displayed, you can use this. If you just want your the first part or the first key to be displayed, something like key and then key. So if you want the key 1 to be displayed, you can do that. If you want just a key 2 to be displayed, you can do that. Now let's go ahead and see how it can be done. As usual, we are going to run the for loop. We will use a variable, let's call it z, in emp dot keys, because as we already discussed, these are the keys. Now we'll use parentheses and we'll use println z, or we can go ahead and say println emp z. Okay, so basically what this is going to do, this is going to print first value, and this is going to print second value. Sorry, print second value. So when the loop will run for the first time, it will take the z as a variable and it will put assassin inside it, and after that it will take empz and put 764 inside it. After that the loop will run again and it will take ghost in the variable z, and then it will add 1000 in empz. Now let's go ahead and run it and see how it works. Okay, so this is basically assassin 764 and ghost 1000. Now since we have built all of it, let's go ahead and discuss. Once again, let's summarize it. Let's go. Okay, so as we already discussed, array of is used to create a static array where we will define all the array items beforehand, and it is start from 0. So if you want the array start from 0, which means if you use something like println your variable name, and then if you want to invoke the array item, you should use something like 0 1 2 3, and you can just go ahead and run a for loop with x in blood group with println x to directly show all the different values or all the items contained in the list. Now the second one was the array list, where we can go ahead and create dynamically any number of variables which you want. So for example, we can use the variable books and of the type array list, and we'll use the string in this case, and then we can add values. So books.add, first one books.add, second one books.add, third one we can go ahead and add multiple books.add according to our requirements, and we can just run a for loop and it will display everything. Now the third one is the Hashmap. Hashmap can store multiple values, for example a string and int, and for example we used a variable emp with the Hashmap string and int to store values emp.put and the string and then the int, which is the key 1 and key 2, and for z in emp.keys, which these are our keys, we print them z is going to be the first value and empz who is going to be the second value. So basically this is how you can use arrays inside of Kotlin. If you like this video, please leave a like or subscribe to the channel. We are so close to hitting 1k subscribers. Hit the bell icon so you can receive notifications. Be sure to check out Honey, and as always, thanks for watching.